Today is a special video. I'm really excited. We're going to be looking at my top 15 films of 2016 so far. I've seen 53 releases this year. The worst movie that I have seen is The Do-Over with Adam Sandler, which was just appalling and offensive towards women and everybody, and it was lazy, and it was just an excuse for him to go to Puerto Rico, and it was really disgusting, and I hated it so much. And if you don't count that as a movie, because technically it's actually television because it's only released on Netflix, then my next least favorite is Mother's Day, which also I thought was offensive and stupid, and I didn't get to know any of the characters because it was all fractured and split up the way it is. I hate these comedies, these holiday comedies from Gary Marshall. They missed saying anything important about Mother's Day or mothering or making people laugh. It was just shrill and awful and stupid. And then my next least favorite is Norm of the North, which was just incompetently made and horrible. It wasn't funny, it looks horrible, and it has a really cliched message that's really heavy-handed. It's just a horrible movie. So those are my three least favorite, but let's get positive now. So we're talking about my top 15 favorite films so far in 2016. I have not seen everything, but I have seen a lot. 15 I have from Studio Ghibli. This was made in 1991. I have Only Yesterday. And this was directed by Asaya Takahata, and it wasn't released because of a period segment, which is ridiculous. Disney, get with it. I loved the parts with the girl as a child. They were really sweet, and the animation's wonderful. I didn't really like the adult stuff as much, so that's why it's towards the bottom of my list, but it's still definitely worth seeing. Next, number 14, which will be a lot higher on most people's list, but it's my list, is The Jungle Book. I thought that it dragged in the middle, and I didn't think the songs really worked, but I really thought the world building was beautiful. It looks great. I thought the ending was so much better than the original movie. I really liked the way they portrayed Mowgli as this more less whiny and more of a person with ideas and personality and more of a proactive person in the story. I thought that was really good. I really liked it. 13, and it pains me this is so low because I loved it, is Kung Fu Panda 3. And it's just really that I liked these other movies a little bit better, but I really did like Kung Fu Panda 3. I think it's the best of the trilogy. I really do, because I think it combined the humor of the first one and the action of the second one in a new mixture, which I thought was really satisfying. A lot of other people didn't like it. I don't really care. The animation's amazing, and to me it was just that great balance. So yeah, I just am not that high on Kung Fu Panda movies, so I guess that's why, in the end, it's still number 13. Number 12, I have The Abolitionists, which is a documentary about this group, Project Underground, that goes into the third world kind of countries and stages these undercover operations to catch people involved in child sex trafficking. And they save these girls, and they arrest these men, and what they do is just so courageous. And but the movie is not a bore, and it's not just some like hero piece. It's actually pretty exciting and pretty intense as they do these operations, and are they going to work? Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. You see all the players involved and what they have to go through, and it's really well done. They have these interviews in between of some of the girls that they have saved over the years and sort of their dreams and what they're hoping to accomplish. So it's a really good documentary. Number 11, and this is another one, it pains me this is so low because I really loved it, is Eddie the Eagle. And this was such a cheerful, lovely little movie about Eddie who dreams of being an Olympian. He's gonna get there no matter what. And it's just so crazy that like his large ski jump, that's the first time he ever done that in his whole life was at the Olympics. That's nuts. And Taron Egerton is so charming as Eddie. You just root for him. It'll make you smile. It'll make you happy. Hey, number 10, another one I really loved. I can't believe it's at number 10, is Midnight Special. And this is a wonderful sci-fi film from director Jeff Nichols. And what I love the most about it is that he puts you right into the action. You don't need all of the explanation about how they got there or what's going on. You just know that these two men have abducted this little boy, and there's something different about this little boy. And so it starts you asking questions, and you kind of follow it through. And I really liked how it had something to say about belief and how all of these different characters believed in this boy in different ways and how that affected them. It's very, very good. Kirsten Dunst, if you don't think she can act, watch her in this. She's number 9. I have number 10. I have 10 Cloverfield Lane as number 9. This was such a good thriller. I really thought it kept me on the edge of my seat. I really liked the Mary Elizabeth Winston character, as she was smart, but she just wasn't this like shrieky woman that you typically get in horror movies. She was smart, she was strong, but she wasn't too strong, she wasn't too smart. Just seemed very believable to me. And I mean, John Goodman character is so scary. You don't know, like, is he crazy? Are things really that bad outside this bunker? What's going on? Some people have problems with the ending. I didn't have a huge problem with the ending, but I would say it's a weakness of the film, but it didn't ruin the film for me. Number 8, I have Presenting Princess Shah, and this is a documentary I reviewed here on this channel. I hope maybe some of you gotten a chance to see it, and this was such an encouraging film for somebody who's a YouTuber and can get kind of discouraging when there's this toxicity in the air, when there's these, horrible comment boards, when people are just awful to each other. This is a story of how the internet can work to benefit people's lives and bring people together that wouldn't normally be together. And you have this woman, Samantha, who is singing on her phone and putting it on YouTube, and she sings about her being a victim of sexual abuse and her journey and everything like that. But she gets heard by this guy, Kudaman. He makes it into this mash video, gets millions of hits, and it kind of changes all their lives, and it's just really inspiring and makes you feel good, and they're just really cool people, cool characters, and it's a great documentary. So number 7, I have Captain America Civil War, and that's maybe shocking that it's this low, but that's where it is. This was a great movie. I thought that it used all of the character development that we had from Tony and all the character development that we had from Steve, and their choices made sense by what we had gotten from all the other films, particularly Ultron and Winter Soldier. And I really thought that it just sort of built and built and built until the airport scene, which I thought was so much fun, so exciting. And then you get this second sort of sequence at the end where really Steve kind of lets Tony down, and that was really devastating. And I thought it was a bold move for Marvel to kind of let particularly their Captain America character be that flawed, but you see this battle between him that he is facing with loyalty and what he's willing to sacrifice for Bucky and how that all works. And I just thought the action was great, and I liked all the performances, and I thought it worked. I really enjoyed it. Number 6, I have April in the Extraordinary World, and this was an amazing 2D animated film that is a true steampunk experience. I loved how it felt dirty, how it felt earthy, like that you would have if you lived in a world of steam. This is the first steampunk movie I think that has been good out of all the times that Hollywood has tried it. This is based on a graphic novel. It definitely goes places that you either kind of go with or you don't, and I totally get it if you don't go there, but I did. I thought it was so creative, so different. I really liked April and sort of her journey that she takes in the story. I thought the comic relief with Darwin, the talking cat, was really funny, and it just visually is beautiful, and it's like just very, very creative, and I really enjoyed it. Number 5, I have Everybody Wants Some by Richard Linklater, and this is definitely an odd film for me because it's got a lot of profanity, a lot of things that I typically wouldn't go see, but he's just so great at writing characters. And unlike Dazed and Confused, which I also really enjoy, Dazed and Confused is more about individuals and all experiencing sort of high school together. This is about a team and how the team dynamic kind of changes all of these boys, and it's just sort of more joyful, I think, in a way, than Dazed and Confused. I think Dazed and Confused is probably more complex in its characters, and it's probably a little bit richer in a way. This is probably lighter, but so they both kind of have their appeal, but this was just so joyful, and it was just so fun getting to spend time with these boys. Number 4, I have Finding Dory, the latest Pixar film. I love Pixar. I think they do amazing work. Even when they're not at their best, I still think it's not a total failure. That's just my opinion. And I think that Finding Dory was wonderful. It was a lot better, especially on the second watch, than I had even appreciated on the first watch. I really noticed a bunch of sort of connections to Wall-E that I hadn't noticed on the first watch, and it's sort of a deeper theme maybe than I had first noticed. It's great comedy on the first watch. You can enjoy it on lots of different levels. It made me laugh a lot. It's one of the funniest Pixar movies, honestly, probably since Monsters Incorporated. And it's sweet, and I loved the way they handled Dory's disability. Of course, the world building is gorgeous, the sea life, and it's interesting when you go between the more polluted area in the United States versus their home at the Great Barrier Reef in Australia. And to see that contrast was very interesting, kind of goes right to the sort of WALL-E type thing that's sort of maybe happening. And if you want to hear more about that, then check out my detailed spoiler review on my blog. I'll put a link down in the description section. Number 3, I have Whit Stillman's Love and Friendship, and this movie is so funny. It made me laugh harder than probably anything else in, I don't know, a couple years. I really thought it was so charming and funny, and I loved these characters. I read the book, and I loved the book, and now I really loved these characters. I thought that it was such a refreshing, different character for Jane Austen to have this Lady Susan who is very manipulative, very manipulative. Kate Beckinsale's so great. I love her and Chloe Sevigny, so funny together. Their dialogue was great, and the way that they basically get everybody in the world to do kind of what they want was fun to watch, because they don't really hurt anybody. Nobody's worse off because of their sort of manipulation. So it didn't really hurt me or feel bad to me, and maybe it might for other people. Now, my number 2 film is one I've talked about a lot. I've raved about it on Twitter. I loved it so much. Is John Carney's Sing Street. This movie is charming, and if you can still find it in theaters, go see it. If you can't, put it on your list, get it from Netflix, rent it, whatever, as soon as you can, because it is so wonderful. I loved this movie. I loved this boy who is kind of coming of age and forming this band to win over this girl. The music is so good. I love the way that he sort of learned about himself through writing songs, and you could feel that. And also the camaraderie between all the band members. I liked the relationship between him and the girl. I loved the relationship between him and his brother. I thought that felt so authentic, and the sort of the jealousy, but also, love that the brother has for his brother was great. I liked all the performances. It's just so good. It's the kind of movie that I could have literally just stayed in the theater and watched it over again if I could have, because I liked it so much. So that's my number 2 is Sing Street. I downloaded the soundtrack as soon as I got home from seeing it, and I've listened to it a million times. So Sing Street, you gotta see it. My number 1 movie of the year so far for me was Zootopia. And Zootopia to me is a fable. It's like a nursery rhyme. And yes, if you break it down, there is some flaws between the metaphor. I get it that like a black person and a white person are different species, but when we look at like the old woman in the shoe, we're looking at the lesson that it's trying to teach. We're not like saying, she couldn't fit in that shoe. That's ridiculous. It's a fable. It's trying to teach children a lesson. And so I really think that it does that so well. I really thought Judy Hopps was a great character. I thought she had tons of heart. I really liked the relationship, the writing between Nick and Judy. I thought was great. I loved the world building that they did. I thought was amazing. The different boroughs. I liked the film noir feel of the buddy cop. The case I thought was really good. I thought that the scenes like with the what's it called? It's not the rat, but I can't think of the name of that animal, but anyway, the Godfather type character was hilarious. That was so good. The skunk rug, I still laugh at the skunk rug. And I thought it had a nice message for kids. I thought it had, like I said, tons of heart to it. And to me, it's just a little more creative than Finding Dory. And so it gets the edge. It's just the most creative, inventive, original, funny, all of it that I've seen this year. It's animation, so it gets the edge for me over anything else. So right now, I haven't seen a better movie than Zootopia all year. So let's see if Kubo and the Two Strings or Moana can break that thing, or if it'll stay for the end of the year. So let me know what is your favorite movie of the year so far, and put in the comments section and let me know what you think of my top 15 and maybe even my bottoms. What do you think? So thanks so much. Please subscribe to my channel, and I'll talk to you later. Bye!